We want to search for a word in a multiple selection drop-down cell. I'm going to show you how we search for words regularly and then how we can change this. So we have these sales goals, January, February, all through the month, and we have a check box. And we have a drop-down that actually allows us to have multiple selections to ideally maybe clean this up in some way visually or just have this sort of database that says 21 is the goal for January, February, and March instead of 3 rows here. So however you have it, I'm going to show you a simple way to search for words in this C column. Create a function called find. This is in AppScript. It can be found in extensions AppScript here. We're going to variable column, and that variable of a column is going to be the entire column we're searching through. Spreadsheet app.getActive spreadsheet, get sheet by name, here it's just sheet 1, get range, C:C, in quotes, and get values. Now this get values is going to be an array. Let's log that to show you what that column might look like. I'll click run, and we see here that we have each item in an array inside of the array. So we can access in AppScript the entire column of all those values. Now to actually go through each and every one of them and find out what's in it, we're going to use a for loop. This is just for I equals 0. We'll set it up that it starts at 0. I is less than column.length. And we're going to iterate I 1 each time. Now inside of this for loop, if bracket I 0, the first item in that first array, is equal to January, we're going to do something here. And let's just log that we found January in row. And here we're going to do plus I plus 1 because we're starting at 0, so the first row would be 0 plus 1 is 1. So we're going to log that if we find January. Now again, our sheet looks like this right now, but we're going to change it to have multiple selections. Let's click and run find, and we found it in row 2. Let's say we had in multiple columns, run it again, and we found in row 2 and row 3, so we could execute something based on that if statement. But in our multiple selection, we may have January, February, March. We may have January and February. And now January doesn't exist alone. So if we use this, we find nothing. So we need to change this. And what we need to do is a very simple change. This column I0 dot includes, and in here, use January. So instead of we're looking for the equaling, we're just saying does January exist in this string. Let's run it. And now we found in row 2 and 3, even though it is multiple selections selected. And I think that's pretty cool because what's going on in the background is that this multiple selection is just a comma separated values set of text. Let's actually look at that. We can say, what is this here? This column I, let's just log what that is when we run it and see it is a comma separated values list of January, February, March. So we just need that includes, and you're good to go for your AppScript, for your automations. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you get awesome stuff out of your Google Sheets. And if you're not, make sure you subscribe today to Better Sheets here on YouTube.